Now, while meeting with Mark Carney, Mr. Trump suggested the US and Canada would be better off going their separate economic ways.
We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things, because we want to be able to do it ourselves. And we, because of past thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us, and there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's a place that will have to be able to take care of itself economically.
Candace is with me, Candace Laing, Chief Exec of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Let's not get into an interesting argument of whether the US is subsidizing or not. That's a sterile point. Let's instead look at how you now see, having seen, there was no blow-up. Mark Carney's far too experienced to end up in a shouting match. But are you encouraged by what you saw today?
Well, good to see you, Richard. Thanks for having me. And absolutely, I think today is encouraging. Heading into today, I was asked many times, what do you hope to see? And I mean, we hoped to see a reset on the relationship between these two leaders. And I think that's definitely what we had delivered today. So that is very, very good news. I would say we were hoping things would be respectful and serious. And as you saw, they were friendly and at times jovial, which is also a good sign.
If we accept that the USMCA is gone and that this idea of a single market of the three countries is sort of history, for you and the Chamber, what is the best scenario that comes out of the next sort of 6 months of trade talks with Canada?
Well, I mean, I think the question that was posed today, does USMCA live, was an important one. And there's multiple ways to look at that. I mean, it is being utilized, and utilized is better than saying it's respected, even in the onset and execution of tariffs. But tariffs by themselves are, against the agreement. The agreement is there to help us avoid situations of any sort involving tariffs. So heading down the road here, I mean, from the business community perspective, we hope to see good discussions and negotiations, if not just a review of that agreement, which is what is scheduled. A review 6 years into the 16-year lifespan of the agreement is what is scheduled to be completed by July 2026. But based on the situation we're in, I think it's practical to say we are in a renegotiation.
Yeah, but what is the future? What does, assuming that the nirvana of USMCA can't be maintained, what is the next best thing for you?
I think we are about to see a leveling up of the discussion on the shared interests, which is really how Prime Minister Carney approached today. This is not just about tariffs by any means. This is not just about trade. This is about our economies and our not only economic security, but national security. And these things are absolutely linked. And this is what we'll see, I believe, as we head into the G7 discussions. Huge signal that we hope to see President Trump there, because the collaboration from a continental perspective is just critical, in addition to the collaboration with more partners, allies, like-minded countries in economic security.
Good to see you. We'll talk more as those deals come along. We'll discuss them in detail. Thank you.